forever with her. Eternal youth. And that she would take care of everything for us. Nothing to worry about ever again. When you're a good-time girl in a bad situation with seemingly no other way out, how are you going to turn down an offer like that? Nicola made it seem like we had a choice, but I'm not sure we ever did. Once you were in her sights, she wouldn't let you out. Nicola knew what she was doing, what she was taking, from me, from the others. From her sister, too, even though she won't admit it to herself. It was her past that dictated all our futures. We just couldn't see it. But I see it now. Still, I never thought our friendship would come to this, a place so dark that I don't even recognize myself anymore. But it's the only way out. It makes sense, in a sick sort of way. All things considered. We're vampires. The darkness is all we know. It's all we have. Chapter 1. Amber. Sometimes, when I was alone, I'd follow my husband and his third wife around central London at night. Not like a complete psycho, but I'd see what they were up to in Mayfair or Marylebone. It was hard to believe he'd be out after sunset since he never wanted to bebop around town with me when we were together. No, Malcolm Wells liked to curl up with a dusty old book about World War II to wind down on a weekend, sipping on a hot toddy or a cup of tea until it ran cold. Even way back then when he was still only in his 30s. He'd always been an old fogey in a young guy's body. But soon enough, and much faster than I'd like to admit, he was old, and so was his current wife, Geraldine. Still, there he was, regularly taking her out on dates in the city, enjoying their retirement together. Dinner, drinks, the theater. I guess the third wife was the charm. Malcolm was probably mortified when I started going out alone without him, not long after we got married in the summer of '79, but what was I supposed to do? Sit around and listen to him spout off facts about Winston Churchill? I mean, respectfully, who cares? I was 23 years old, and come on, we're only young once. Or so I thought at the time. When we met earlier that year, Malcolm said he was attracted to my joie de vivre, and I swooned. Just imagine some sophisticated British man speaking French to you when you're a small-town Wisconsin girl who came to Chicago for the day, only to get rejected at the Rockettes audition you've been waiting for your whole life. I was devastated when they didn't call my name. It was supposed to be my ticket to a whole new life. I really didn't want to go back home to my miserable family, who wanted to control my every move. So, as I was drowning my sorrows at some fancy businessman bar in River North before getting the late train to Milwaukee, Malcolm swooped in with his accent and handsomeness and money, offering to fly me back to London with him instead. Listen, it was the 70s and we were delightfully tipsy, and how could I reject such a juicy invitation? I'd never been out of the country before. What was meant to be a one-week jaunt on some richy-rich fella's dime quickly turned into something serious, and before I knew it, we were engaged. I fell in love with London the second I got here, and yes, I probably got that mixed up with true love for Malcolm, which now seems a little nuts. It would be a few months before I admitted it to myself, but we were a god-awful match. Unless it was for business reasons, he wasn't much for being social, and all I ever wanted to do was flit around town. Go dancing, see live music and shows, alongside other young people. But Malcolm? It was books, tea, the BBC, and repeat. Nightmare. Not that I knew what real nightmares were just yet. I didn't tell anyone back home in Wisconsin about my potential screw-up. It was a different time, and I'd never confided much in my parents. Everyone was always hanging on by a thread as it was. Emotionally, financially. And I knew my dad would have just said something about getting what I deserved after being so impulsive. My mother didn't have too much to say about it, but she didn't protest either. Money talk.